Hey, so I found this online. It's a simple fuzz circuit. Thought it could be fun to build that. Of course, it's 1:20 in the morning, so I don't know if I'll get through the whole thing. Probably not. But first thing I usually do is look for an enclosure. I've got this one here. It's kind of a pinkish gray, mostly pink. But you can kind of see the aluminum through it a little, so it's kind of a little bit grayish. And then I have these knobs to go with it. That'll look nice. So typically we'll take good to have this battery powered, so I left enough room for the battery. You can see here, you know, there's be the stomp switch and the battery will go like that. So I'm just getting started. I didn't put the LED light in anything yet. Just start with the knobs and foot switch. We should be alright. A little bit lower. Just drill this one by hand. Step this thing here. Like that. Okay. Go down through this. This one, you're gonna have to set up on the side to get all the way through it. Clean up our mess. We'll start by brushing it. Get rid of the tufts. Okay. And then basically, we'll just scoop this into the trash. Now, don't see this as a tutorial by any means. This is just a hangout. I'm learning myself here, and I don't even think there's that many people interested in learning this stuff anyway, so it's not really something I'm trying to teach. Just something I'm enjoying, and I thought it'd be fun to make a video. I see other people making videos, and I like to watch them, so just kind of giving back and giving other people something to watch. Super exciting stuff. exciting. All right. So, I guess I'll start with the potentiometers. I can see, look at this. Let's see, we've got, where is it? There's one here. This is 1 KB or 1 BK. No, B1K is what I would say. Where's the other one? Looking at potentiometers. This one here is a volume, and that is A500K. So which side we want the volume on? That's what I have to decide next. And I don't know. It's weird because sometimes, you know, your in comes in here and then out here. Sometimes it makes sense to put the volume on the out, like, you know, your level that goes out to the amp, or your master level. But if I read it like a book, left to right, which I like to do also, then it makes sense for the volume to be over here, because it's like I'm going to get to the fuzz adjustment first and then to the volume. So I don't know. I guess I'll go the first route and put where the output is. That's where I'll put the volume. So the volume's 500K. I've got my 500K pot here. Let's see. It's 500K. Put that in. This one's already got the tab broken off, so put that in over here. And you know what? I like to put a washer in here because I feel like these things stick out too far, and you can't get the knobs to get close enough to the enclosure. So I always put these little 1/4-inch washers on, and it helps a lot. I'm not fastening this down very tightly. I'm just kind of get it in the ballpark so I can set the circuit board the way I want it. And then, of course, the fuzz pot is the other one. It just goes in the other place. There's only 2 slots, so this one has the little tab I need to break off. Let's take a look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little tab there. Standard stuff. You gotta break that off if you're not going to have a mechanical hole for it. Do the washer of that one too, just for consistency and height of the knobs. Okay. And then I got to decide which circuit board I want to use. Protoboard's what I usually use for this kind of thing. Protoboard's what I usually use, but the thing about that is there's different sizes, and I've got this one that's kind of like used. I don't know if that's a good one or not for this. I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to grab a different one. Let me see what we got in here. So I've got these little ones, and this would actually be okay for something like this. What I like about these is you can solder from the top or the bottom. Doesn't matter. So if you get in there and you realize you missed something, you can just solder. You don't have to take it out again. So they're very forgiving in that way. This one is a little less forgiving because it's like one side does not have copper and the other side does. So with this one, you know, if you miss something, you got to take the board out, flip it over, and do your soldering. But what I like about this is I can get this thing to be held in by the the potentiometers. I can put holes like this through, and then I don't need to come up with any bracing for holding the PCB proto board in. Anyway, so I think I'll do that. I'm also looking at the back of this, and it looks like only one has a dust cover. Plus, I mean, why not make it nice? We can do custom dust covers, you know, that's fun. So, taking out the old generic one, so I can put a good pastel pink one in there. Trying to get this old one out. And I think it'd be easier to get a dust cover off. Man. Alright, I'll put this over here, and then I'll grab a different one. So, while I'm at it, might as well get a LED light out. I'm thinking white and red makes pink. So let's use a pink LED. So I'll grab one of those. Okay, we'll test that here in a minute. Make sure it works. And I must leave this out while I get the dust cover. So these are the dust covers. Got all kinds of colors. Hell, I just threw one out. Just threw one in the trash. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm going with, the pastel pink to kind of match the enclosure. Now it's kind of silly to me to make the inside nice. A lot of boutique designers want to do that, and I get it. I get it because they take pride in their work, and other builders might want to go in and check it out. But most people don't ever open their pedal. They just care about the outside. So most pedal buyers. Now I will say, when I would buy a pedal, I didn't even know anything about it, and I would open them up and look. So I don't know. Could be wrong. I just don't imagine the majority would open them up. But I don't know. This is what that looks like. See, it just looks kind of nice. And I'm just going to fit this board on here. There. That's what we want. So should look kind of like that. Or see how it's holding it on. That's kind of what we want. So once we have it like this, you can see there's the foot switch. I just want to make sure the foot switch is going to fit in there with no problems. So first things first, my background music has dropped. There. Listen to my AI background music. Look for a foot switch. Do I want to go gold or chrome? Just a gold one. This looks nice. And here's the chrome one. Kind of liking that. Let's see what the knobs. Pretty good. Let's see what they do this one with the knobs. I like the chrome one more. I think with the, I like when I'm working with these pastels, sometimes I like to lighten them up by using white. things like this, or like the, let's see if I can get focus, or like the DC jacks that are white. I have some of those too. There's some up here. Grab a 9-volt wire too. Could grab a fresh 9-volt. Okay. There we go. Fresh 9-volt. Alright. This is the 9-volt wire I'm talking about, one of these things. Alright, I'm gonna get these, I want to keep these pretty, right? So I'm gonna put them out of the way so they don't get messed up. This out. Oh, before I do that, yeah, I was gonna just double check and make sure I've got enough space for this. And I do. It looks like I do. You know, if I had to, I could, you know, I could sand a little off of that board, but I won't need to. I don't think I need to. So, very cool. So we're good there. Let me go ahead and get these out. Okay. So then put this stuff back. What I like to do is kind of mark with paint markers. I like to mark where these potentiometers are going to come through. So it's like here, 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 and here. Okay. So that's marked. I also sometimes mark negative and positive, so let's go ahead and do that. Put positive here and here, here. Black for the negative. Let's get some wire there. Now that we've got all that sorted out, I can put this into a holder like this. I guess I'll put it this way. So that's where our positive's coming in, and then black wire, either ground or negative. 9-volt coming in. So now grab a diode, and the diode keeps the negative and positive separate, so that if somebody puts the wrong polarity in, it can protect the circuit, and that the positive will be blocked from going up to the negative power part of the power supply. And so I'll show you how this is done. They basically, this isn't part of the schematic I downloaded. This is just something I do on all of them, or most of them. Since it runs through the part, you need to sever the connection between the two sides of the part. That's where this little grinder comes in. That's what the grinder does. Right? So I could just, but why do that when you have your own electrical blower here? Amazon.com. Okay. Probably can't see that, but it severs the two. So if I were to do a continuity test on these, you would not get a beep. From here to here you will. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm turning the music down. Hear that beep? Don't get it here. Don't get it here. Don't get it here. Because that is severed. Which is good. Because otherwise it wouldn't work. Okay. Let me get these trimmed. Get their hair cut. And so that part of it is fine. Okay. So that brings us to the circuit. The beginning of the circuit. So we are here. Little plus sign. So the first thing that happens looks like we go into a couple resistors. The resistor is going to come off, 33K is going to come off and go somewhere that forks off into the two transistors. So let's get a 33K Pull this out. This is my, well, I can't see that too good. That's okay. This is just a drawer of resistors. Got a 33K here. I'm just checking if there's any other 33Ks, and it doesn't look like there is. So just here's our 33K resistor, and I wonder if I should try to think. I'm trying to remember on the 9-volt thing how that's wired, and I think it's that the positive goes to this little guy right here. This little guy right here. I think that's how that works. Let me double check. I've only done the battery thing a few times, so let's see. Or I should say, I've done the battery thing a lot of times, but I should say I've only done the battery with the DC jack together a few times. So let's see, 9-volt battery wiring. So this is the image that I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see this, but this right here is what we're gonna do. So with that in mind, I was right, and I am not going to worry about trying to get the positive end of this hooked up to our board. I think only the negative. So with that in mind, I can go ahead and hook up that negative. Guess I'll turn this back on. Okay. And I'll put my music back on. Come on. Did I turn it down? I'm going to turn it down. There we go. So, the other thing that's not on here is the LED. We pulled an LED out. This red and white. So let's test it. I've got a little LED tester that I'm kind of MacGyvered here. Let me do this. And it should be pink. Well, it's kind of purple. See that? It's pretty though. I'm gonna go with it. I like it. And I guess we can put that, as far as this goes, we can put it wherever we want, right? We can put it on the forehead, nose. I mean, gee, we could put it out the side if we wanted. I think I'm going to go with something either here or here. The only thing I don't like about here is that people could step on it when they step on this, although there's usually some hardware that keeps them from going all the way down. But if they miss, you know, that's the thing. If they miss, they push the LED in. It's not good. So I guess I'll go with the nose on that one. Anyway, so what that means for us, this already has its own. You know what we could do is figure out how bright we want it, because this thing has its own resistor in it. So although it'll draw more energy without our addition of a resistor, we don't have to have a resistor because it already has one in there. So it's just a matter of how bright do we want. Do we like that, or super bright, which would be over here? that. Whew. It's a bit much. If you look right into it, it's a bit much. This is like just a little softer. Let's see. Maybe somewhere in the middle though would be nice. So I'm gonna go somewhere in the middle. So that's between nothing and 4.7K. So I'm gonna go in the middle. Go with how about a 2.4K resistor. This will be for our LED, okay? That's gonna look nice. We could test that if we wanted, but I'm pretty confident that's gonna be just fine. All right, so the where, we could just put that. Just looking at this board here, right after the diode's fine. It can be on the positive or negative side, doesn't matter. Just wherever you have room. I think I'll do this right after the diode, maybe here and here. Now, one thing that's nice about this circuit is that we're not cramped for space. Like, I can spread this thing out because it's not a huge circuit. Fuzz is simple unless you start messing with it. This is just a basic fuzz face, so it's going to be pretty simple. I know, I got to put the fan on. I'll do that soon here, don't worry. Okay. All right. So we went through there. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and solder this down. And we'll have our LED. Cut this. Just gotta trim the wire. I like to use tape to hold things down. I covered up what I need to solder. But it's just, you know, the thing about it is, I realize there's a million ways to do it, but it's like, electrical tape is like $1 for like a whole roll, which will build like what, 50 pedals. So I'm not worried about the cost of, you know, I'll just throw this piece away just to prove a point. It's not expensive to use electrical tape to hold things down. It's not wasteful or expensive. It's a good economical way. It's just not free like some of the other techniques people use. Okay. So now we can get real about our circuit here and get serious about it. We had that 33K out. Where did we put that? Here it is. I just want to make sure this is the right one now that some time has passed. So I'm going to measure it. And I'll tell you what I'm seeing on the meter here. 32.86. I'd say that's 33K. So Okay, so what I do with these is I keep track of what I've done by marking them off. Thank you, Josh Scott, for that. It really is helpful. Use this. We know we've been here. We know we're here. And we know we've done this one. Okay. So now I'll go ahead and let's do this one. In fact, I'm going to mark it off too. We'll do this one too. That's a 330 ohm. Here we are. So 330 ohm. Okay. And 330 ohm goes here. And connects to this. That's good. I mean, that kind of works. That kind of works. Okay. I can use a fan this time, like a good boy. All right. Also, this other little guider fan that I can use to get the ventilation going. Okay, so looking at this, hey, I've done this and this. Now I guess I'll do this next. .2K. Trim this up. I'll do this next. Check him off. So 103. Is that right? Yeah, 103. So here we go. Are there any more of these? What do you get? Okay. So this is a 103. You can see those numbers on there. So that's what we're doing. Guess I can move this a little. Let's see. That actually looks good. You can test continuity on that too. The beep of this. So from here to here, we're good. Check it on the other side. We're good. Okay. Hey, look, I'm vlogging.
What?
I'm vlogging. See?
That's so cool.
This is not the best angle, I don't think.
You got them both set
If you
up.
want to say hi, you can
Can
come
I-
over here.
Can I kiss on the camera?
Yeah, I think so. It's time for bed?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not streaming live. No one would be awake. Only in England. Okay. Well. Well, good. Guess we can go ahead and solder down our volume because it's ready for it. Okay. Okay, so let's get this over to 3. So this guy goes over to here. 1, 2, 3. So I need to get that little part sticking out near the middle pin over to the pin on the right. Trying to think, yeah, it'd be your right too. Just take the wire out. Tweezers here. Tweezers. Is being stubborn right now. There we go. Nice. Nice. Okay, so now clean 10. And here we go. I think that's good. Yeah, that looks good. I might trim this little spike. I like it. I'm gonna get my magic marker. My magic marker out. Mark this one off. Leg 3 is done. Okay, well, I think I'm well, let's see, we're about halfway done. I still think I'm gonna go to bed because it's late, so I'll finish tomorrow. So I will see you guys after church. We're at church in the morning, praise team, and then I'll eat lunch and I'll be back over here. and you won't even notice that I was gone because it's just gonna skip to tomorrow and everything's gonna be right here again. Right here. So we'll pick up. Oh. Just trying to get a little extra light. Okay. All right, I'm back. So yeah, good church service this morning, then lunch, half-hour nap, and here I am. So I'm gonna put some transistors in. And these are our transistors. It's BC 108s. So I'll just stick these somewhere on the board for now. Think of a good spot. I'll put them like this. The other one. We could measure these, so let's do that real quick. So the emitter's the one with the tab, so put that in this. And I know I don't have a DCA Pro like I'm supposed to. Everybody says get one of those. I'm working on it, but they are $200, so I'm just kind of still working on getting that. This one's 328 28 HFE, which means gain. 328, and this one, let's try this one. Okay, this one's 360, so that one's a little bit higher. Let me just double check this one again, make sure I didn't measure it wrong, make sure I'm remembering it right. Sorry about the washing machine, this is just how it goes. Oh, this is also like 360. So, I think I was looking at that number backwards, 5. So, anyway, they're about the same, but I'll put the one that's slightly higher in position Q2, so Q1 will feed into Q2, but it's not going to matter much in this case because they're about the same. So, one. There's another one. I suppose I could spread these out a little bit more. That looks good. All right. Solder that up, solder it down, however you want to say it. Put the fan on. Got the washing machine running anyway, so I'm not worried about the sound quality, it's already shot. Sure that you're able to see that. There we go. Okay. Let that cool and trim it down. One thing I can do is trim the first one I did while the second one's cooling down. one thing I'm noticing is that I kind of made a mistake yesterday, because right here we have this 33K that comes off of positive, and you run through it and then you do some stuff. But you see this 330 ohm? That, if you look at it, is connected straight off of positive as well. And I think I connected that here, which is a no-no, because I'm going through this first and then connecting this to this stuff. So I need to move the leg from here up to here, which is a little hard to do. So I'm just going to snip this resistor out and put it in again in the right position. It'll be easier. Or I may be able to salvage it. Let's see. I may be able to. Not that it really matters. These things are a couple pennies. But maybe a little more than a couple pennies tariffs, but you get the idea. They're not terribly expensive. They're just resistors. Expensive stuff is like the potentiometers and the jacks and even the transistors can sometimes be expensive compared to these anyway. Alright, so I've lifted this out. I don't know if you can see that, but lifted that out. So what I really needed to do was run this leg to positive. So I think there's going to be a way to do that. I'm just gonna put it in here. Just putting it in here. And then I just need to use like some bus wire or something to get it over to positive. So let's do that. So it'll be like this. You could do this on the underside, it'll look better. So let's do that. I'm going to flip this over. We've got the one leg coming out there, and then yeah, we'll just jump over that and go straight into positive. That'll look nice. So this goes into positive like this. Or wait, that's no, this one. There we go. And then this one goes here like that. Clearing everything, and we've got enough room because the potentiometer is taller than it is, so we're not going to touch the casing. So actually I'm taping the side I need to solder down, so I'll just solder directly down. There we go. First do the little leg. Positive wire. I feel like this other angle is just showing my hand. Let's see if I can't get a better camera angle for that. Talking about this camera right here. Maybe like this. Yeah, something like that. Maybe better. Possibly. We'll see. Or maybe even over here. So I'll knock it over. That's not bad. That's really not bad. Move it over like this. Okay, let's try not to knock it over. So now that's fixed. So that leg comes off positive, goes to this, which goes back where it was. We're back where we were. Okay. Just trimming things up a little. Trim. Okay. So now we can get my schematic. This goes through here. And it goes two places. It goes to the base of 2 and to the collector of 1. So after it goes through here, we can just use some wire to get that done. After it goes through here, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So we'll use this one. So it goes into the base of 2. This hole, this jumper hole, right here. This one. I'm just gonna work on that one first. Yeah. I see him. Okay. That's not touching the. It's not. Making sure it's not touching the negative rail. Alright. What else we got here? So that's going through there. And then this splits out into two places. So we can go to this. To the base of Q2, and since it's all just kind of connected anyway, we can come back from the same rail into Q1's collector. So grab that, grab one of these. Just double checking that. Looks good. Comes out of here into here. Yep. Out of here. That part's done. So then this is simple. The Q1, this one, the emitter, which is over here on this side, just goes to ground. So I'm just wiring that up. Make sure. Yes, that is correct. All right. It's high time we mark our paper. So let's do that. Okay, one of these is just a repair, so we're back in the same spot with that. But we did do this right here. This is check. We did do this, check. We did do this, check. Okay. Next connection we've got to do is this A.2K, 8.2K. Connect that into the collector on Q2. So let's find him. This comes up through here. So he's over here. Yeah. And comes down to this. Okay. Collector on Q2. Alright, so we're gonna need like an L-shaped bus wire. Like this. Pretty straight. It's going to go a ways. It's going to go from here. About right here. It's going to turn. And then it's going to go from here. Like that. Alright, solder that down. That one's taken care of. So now we're pretty much caught up on that one. One thing we could do, this would be easy, the volume pot here, leg 2 is the output wire, so let's get an output wire. I usually use yellow as the input and then some other random color as the output. So these are all thin, which is okay, but I'd rather not. Maybe that purple stuff. Where's that purple? There it is. Let's use this as our output color. So output's on 2. So yeah, I can this literally comes off of the potentiometer leg, so you don't even need to use the perf board for it, although there's a dandy little slot for it right under this guy. Let's try that. Maybe it's not so dandy after all. I'm trying to figure out. This will go in there like that. guess I want to just wrap this around. Just going to shape this so it wraps around the potentiometer. There we go. So quick that we get a cold solder joint. So we're in the middle here, so it's nice and bound, but not crazy hot to where it heats up the potentiometer carbon. Alright. I think we're good. Looks good. We can always test this if we have to. Alright. And then it looks like, so what we just did was, look at this, we just did, yeah, right here, no, that's the one we just did. So now we gotta do this one, the one that goes to ground. So, that's the next one here. Let that cool. And then this one's going to ground. Okay, so what can we check off now? We can check off this one too, and we can check off the ground. Okay. So then let's work on our input. First, let's work on our thirst. Work on our thirst. Get this away from me so it doesn't get splatters in it. Okay. thinking. Here we go. This magic yellow, or this magic yellow, this magic yellow. This will be our input wire. This can go anywhere really. It's just put it here. Okay. And our electrolytic capacitor value is going to be 2.2 microfarads. So here's a good one. This is 3.3, so it's basically a little bit different. But it just deals with how much base is being taken out, so it's okay. It's not going to make much of a difference to our ears because it's a close enough value. 2.2. So I'm going to let the positive side hit the input wire. So positive side hits the input wire, and then it goes over here. I guess it can go this way. It doesn't really matter. Wait, does it go to Q2? No, it goes to Q1. So yeah, that way makes more sense. Okay. Did it. There we go. So we can check this off. Checked off the 2.2, even though I used a 3.3. Close enough. So then I was wrong about the polarity. The negative part touches. The negative side touches the input wire. So I'm going to have to reverse it. That's real good. Alright, I'm going to reverse it. Makes sense because you're trying to keep the voltage from crawling up into your guitar. Okay. Good. Okay. So with that, now we have one goes to the base. To the base of Q1, so that's over here. this kind of long when we shorten it some. Doesn't need all that much length to get over there. There. So that happens. Solder that down. I'm kind of boring. I should be talking to you, right? I should be like saying stuff like, who are you? Who watches this? Stuff like that. Alright. Next one. Oh, wait. This one will go this far. Is it one? Okay. So then the other, so we've got that taken care of. So the other goes to 100K resistor. So let's do that. I may have one sitting around. I do. There's one sitting around right here. So I have these ones that kind of get left on the table or whatever, and then I measure and put them up on this page. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to put this one actually on the underneath part of the board, which is fine. We can do that. It's just we're just not going to see it. Flip it over, and that's okay. I have to see everything. Okay. Let's check that off. We've done this. Check. And we've done this. Check. And I guess you can say we've done this, the input wire. So what else? What else? Well, now the emitter of Q2 connects with the other side of that resistor. So yeah, this. So Q2 is over here, and it has an emitter, which I thought we were connecting to already. That's the collector. I'm confused. Just a second. All over the board, aren't I, today? What's the dealio? Is it upside down or something? Maybe it's upside down. No. This goes. The base of it. No, that's right. That one goes. That one goes up to there. And then it goes through that. Okay. And over to 3. Okay. But then the other side of that has an 8.2 that then goes over to the collector, which we're doing. That's right. That's right. Okay, and then that goes there. You know, we're not in as bad a shape as I thought. So the emitter, yeah, we're fine. I'm just overthinking it. This goes here to the emitter, and then over to the other side of this 100K resistor we just put in. So let's see what that looks like over here. Yeah, we're good. That's exactly right. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So we can put a little check right here. This part connected. But we still need to go to number 3. So these go in here. This spot is going to go in here. And it goes right here. Like so. And we need to go grabbing this wire. We need to go from here over to number 3. So this is 1, 2, 3 over to here. Like that. Lay that down, that's fine. Okay. Solder this. My music has died. Let's try this. If it sounds like I'm talking to myself, it's because I'm making a video. Okay. just on leg 3 of the potentiometer for the Fuzz knob. So with this one, we need a 20 UF or microfarad capacitor. So it's like, I'm gonna have to get the capacitors. This is a tiny little fella. Let me see. Little capacitor. So that's for leg 2, and the positive part touches the leg 2. So that means it would go like this. Okay. Okay. This goes into here. Best way to make sure it makes contact with the potentiometer leg. So it's easy to like wire these up and then realize it's not actually making good contact. So I hear a beep. Are one of your cameras beeping? Good. Just clearing the way there. Okay. Let's do this. Good. I may do a continuity test just to make sure leg 2 and 3 aren't touching. I don't think they are. I don't see them touching, but little beep test, never can be too sure. So. That might be that it's all the way one way. Yeah, that's all that was. So basically, if I turn it all the way one way, you do get continuity because you're supposed to. But okay. All right. It looks like I have one more to solder that I haven't done yet. So let's take a look. It's kind of I guess this one is the other side of the other side of that cap, and it goes to ground. I don't think it'll reach all the way over to ground. I have to wire it over there. Let's see. It's got that length. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wire it, but that's okay. We'll go from there. And let's wire that up. So yeah, this one's done. This whole section goes off of 2 into this thing off the ground. So this whole section's done. Wait. Sorry, this whole section. Now, 1 goes to ground. So this is 1. So I just need a little wire to get into ground. Put that in there. Down first, so I'm not fighting it. I'll let it cool. Might as well, for mechanical purposes, solder down that leg as well, just so it holds it more, has a more strong hold on it. Now let it cool down. You move the solder around while it's cooling. It can make the solder bond not as good. It makes little cracks and can make it kind of like act like a cold solder joint, or maybe you don't notice it at first and then a year later starts acting up because you didn't just wait a couple seconds. All right. Okay, so that's done. What else? I like everything. I'm looking at it now. What did I miss? What did I miss? Nothing. Looks good. I think we're in good shape to, you know, put it in the pedal enclosure. Now, the enclosure. I could put a graphic on there, like a little transistor, since we're using BC 108s. Or I could just put the words. I could put both the graphic and the words. I started thinking it would be kind of cool to have an anglerfish on it, so then you could put the little LED where the lure goes, but my AI was acting up. So I'm gonna try again, see if it does. What is it? Make a line drawing for an etcher that has a angler fish in the style of Tim Burton. Yeah, it's acting up. I won't do it. Well. I could just put the words on it too, or I could put something like this. BC 108. I could put that on it. That's kind of cool. But yeah, you know, we can do that later too. So let's just go ahead and start wiring it up. Yeah, we'll just do that later if we do it all. But sometimes these things look good with nothing on them, believe it or not. They look kind of cool to me anyway. Like pure design, you know. All right. This anymore. I'm gonna get my just clean it up so I don't scratch the case as I'm putting stuff in. You know, one thing I do want to wire up is actually, which we don't need to get all that stuff out again or anything, but some ground points. So I like to have like 3 ground points. So let me do that. Just get some wire here. Basically cut this into thirds. It's probably way overkill, but I'll use this wire later for other little things. I'll just put it over here for later. Trim this up. There's some pieces sticking out that need trimming. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. I know. I just cleaned the desk. I know. grounding points come in handy for like you wire them to the jacks and to the switch and stuff like that, so it doesn't make noise. Alright, I think for the LED, I'm just going to go for it. Put this, put it here. Grab the thing. Where are you? There it is. Try to make sure it's centered. Make sure it's centered. Okay, I'm actually going to switch this. I want to get it like an LED sized one. So, is that one LED sized? I'm going to hope it is. And if not, I can always put a bezel, it's fine. Scratch it. Let's see if I scratched it. I don't know if I did. You know, I think it needs to be one size up from there, so I'll go with all those sharp ones. Is this the right size? This might be a good one for this. That looks pretty good, but I don't know if it's the right size. It needs to be the next one. Where is it? This one. Let's try that. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. Okay. 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 I guess we should do the jacks too. Let me do that. But will they work there? Let's see. I want to make sure they're gonna work there. These go in here. Is there enough room for them there? Thinking. sure if those jacks are going to work there. I'm going to get this in there and see. Because otherwise I'm going to waste the enclosure on getting it wrong. Okay. These need to be just adjusted a tiny bit. And obviously I need to put this back on. Okay. I think it might work. I think so. So there's that. There's the fact that I think it's gonna work. Let me grab that. TRS jack. I'm looking for that. I know I have some. So I'm using a TRS instead of a TS jack because we're going to do the battery thing. So that's what that's all about. Actually, how this. Yeah, we're going to be fine. So I'm going for it, and then if we have to pivot, we will. To pivot. All right. Where? Make sure I'm centered. Puncher. Where's the puncher? Set it down somewhere, and now I don't know where. Of course. There it is. step drill. Put like a oh, it's here. It's just kind of hard to see. Okay. All right. This is gonna be a little messy. Tell you what, we're gonna waste a napkin. Put the circuit a little farther away so it doesn't end up with shavings in it. Okay. Going in. Pretty strong aluminum. Either that or a really weak drill bit. I mean, you just need a new one. Usually aluminum's like butter. All right. I probably should not drink any more Dr. Pepper because the little shavings probably fell in there. Mess something up medically if I drink it at this point, so I'll be throwing the rest of that away. In fact, I should go pour it out now so I don't forget and slurp some down and go, oops. Pouring out the Dr. P. Okay. Okay. So now we just assemble everything, I guess. Let's start with this. leave the TRS jacks on loose. So when I'm soldering it, I can kind of move it around if I have to. So I'm not tightening them down just yet. The TS jack is for the output. The TRS is for the input. What happens is when you put the input in, like the guitar cable into it, that's when it starts draining battery. Okay. And actually, I don't know that I can get this in there while these are in, so I have to undo. Edit undo. There we go. So now I can probably get this in there. Okay. Note to self, put the washers on. I always forget to do that, and then I gotta take it all out. Okay, here we go. Come on. Of course, I have to remove this. Not all the way, but some. It's just annoying. I want to remove it. Come on. Now I can get it in because it's out of my way. You know, I don't feel great about this piece. Maybe I can. I can probably get it to where I can reach it and work with it. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Alright. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Okay. So let's get these on. Is there more stuff? Should be more stuff. This. Turning the hot glue gun on for the LED. Get that in there. Okay. back on. Safety first. Goes to this.
Are you done filming?
I'm actually recording right now. Say hi. But why do you ask?
I was just curious.
I mean, you have been. You can just keep doing what you've been doing. Stop messing with that now. Got all our stuff. Time to put the LED in. Alright, now I gotta test it. I need to see if I can get the jack to fit in there more comfortably with the let me see the rotation of this thing. Let's see. That may help. Let's see. That's pretty good. Yeah, it feels good. I just like to get this cable out of the way. Yeah, get that out of the way. I think that's gonna work. Yeah. And then this one. Let's see if this is gonna be a good one too. Come on. I'm gonna have to. There we go. Nope, that's not working. Mechanically, I mean, I need to twist it there. It's gonna work. Yeah, perfect. Okay. This over here. We're in pretty good shape. Maybe just get some of these wires tucked away. Here's what we're dealing with. Now to test it, just to see if it's doing anything at all. I have a little MP3 player, and I'll plug that in, and then this to the amp, and that grounding noise is just because the MP3 player is off. Once it turns on, it should see it silences like it should. Okay, so this bypass, once the bypass is working, and there it is, look at that. It is working. Cool. I'm gonna try it with the guitar. Take a guitar here. And I'm gonna have to. Here it is. I was gonna have to fish that cable from somewhere, but it's loose. Okay.